Alright. Okay, class. Come in. Come into class. Come on, Ryan. How are you? Have a good day? Yeah. John? You good? Hi. Come on, hurry up. Let's get to class. Sit down. I don't know about you guys, but I'm having a fantastic day. You know why? Why? Guess why? Why? Because my day is just spectacular. I don't know about you guys, but we're going to have tons and tons of fun. Because I said so. Okay. That was just some really bad acting. But, how did you feel about my words? Did I seem convincing? Did you really think that today was going to be a fun day? Want to take some time to think? Giving you wait time.
I didn't actually know is yes.
Okay. Okay. So what do you guys think?
I thought something was wrong with you.
Yeah, you
Okay.
angry.
Why did you think? Okay, wait. Why did you think that?
You're acting weird.
Okay.
Pamela was
You
very
said-
discouraged.
You said you're angry looking.
I seem angry looking.
Like you seemed upset, yeah. Your
Seemed
arms were
upset.
folded,
Okay.
which is the,
Okay.
and you were,
Well, you were telling us, you weren't showing us.
Okay. That's true. Okay. I'm just trying to show that. Okay. Good. So I mean, you guys already saw, but today we're going to be going over verbal and nonverbal communication. And so, we need a magnet. Outcomes, I'm posting them, post-it, is that students can demonstrate appropriate verbal and nonverbal communication. We're also going to be going through what is verbal communication, what is nonverbal communication. And so,
Practice more.
okay. Alright, so verbal, let's have verbal communication and nonverbal communication. So verbal communication is sharing information through the use of speech, okay? And nonverbal communication is communication by other means than using words, okay? So again, class, verbal communication is, all together,
Sharing information through the use of speech.
okay. And nonverbal communication is
Communication by other means other than words.
okay. Alright, so I want you to remember that, like communication by other means than using words. So what we are going to do is, okay, so we're going to switch gears and we're going to have a Venn diagram, and this is how it's going to work. One side is going to be verbal communication. I didn't print these out, I drew these out, so don't judge me. Don't judge my artwork. But on one side I want you to write verbal communication, and on the other side I want you to write nonverbal communication. Okay? And on the side for verbal we'll have the critical attributes, and then on the side for nonverbal we'll have the critical attributes for nonverbal as well. And in the middle would be like non-critical. Okay? So let's start off with verbal. What could be the critical attribute for verbal communication? What makes verbal communication?
spoken.
Okay, use of words, but there's also a sense of understanding or comprehension of the words. If I spoke in Portuguese, that it wouldn't really be.
So understanding language, spoken. Okay, that's really good. Okay, I think that might be about it. I'm just going to put V and Okay, for nonverbal, now, the definition is like communication by other means. So, earlier in my theatrical performance, there was things, yes.
Sorry, so when you say spoken, do you mean words only? Or could it be sounds that you make verbally?
True. Yeah, sounds is also, would go under verbal communication. So, I should write that one up too. Forget about that. Okay. So, okay. For nonverbal, so nonverbal is communicating by other means. John mentioned earlier that he noticed things that I seemed kind of angry, that I was folding my arms. So what would that be like?
Gestures.
Gestures,
Okay.
winks, glaring.
Okay. What are winks and glares?
Those are called facial expressions.
Okay.
Facial
Good.
expression, body language.
Body language.
And-
Yes.
What is the language of your body?
Facial expression. Okay. And then body language. Anything else? I have a question for you. So, wouldn't be necessary to classify under sounds, but what about the tone of your voice? Like, hey Sai, how are you doing? Or like, hey Sai, how are you doing? Like, those are two very different tones. Would that be considered under nonverbal, even though I am speaking it?
Yes.
No,
No.
No,
it's verbal.
it's in the.
Verbal.
It's like,
Spelling is not that.
it's spoken word.
No,
But-
it's
and it-
nonverbal.
But it also,
It's-
it dictates the way you're saying it to portray a certain level of meaning. Like high sigh instead of high sigh.
It's not a
The same word, but it completely changes the meaning, so that was the other verbal.
Yes, Brian.
Sometimes you can say things and your gestures can go along with what you're saying also, so you can communicate it simultaneously. So when you say I, and you make those gestures, it's both verbal and nonverbal.
Okay. So would we say like tone could be like a non-critical attribute, like in the middle?
Tone.
Okay.
So would sarcasm kind of be part of that?
That's a good question. Save it for next class.
Okay, I'll write that down.
Like another nonverbal might be posture.
Posture,
Your
yes.
posture.
Body language, posture.
Like sitting up for posture. Or getting down here, arms folded, like all my
Okay.
class students.
Alright, so, we got a good mix, or a good, critical attributes, non-critical attributes of these two types of communication. So, we're gonna get into like gestures and body language and all these things, but we're gonna
I
get
think,
into.
sorry,
Yes, Dr.
it's
Shisa.
the OCD coming out in me, but I think tone of voice is verbal.
Is verbal? See, I don't know. That's a big
Because
one.
see, the nonverbal, you're communicating without any voice. Doesn't matter the tone. So you could have a tone, but you don't need to have a tone.
Yeah.
But in verbal, you have to have a tone, whether it's good or bad. There has to be a tone of some
True.
sort.
I think with tone of voice though, is that when you say words verbally, when verbal communication, you're saying one thing, but the tone of voice, like someone saying, like, oh, how's your day? It's like, oh, I'm good. Like you're saying that you're good, which you'd be happy, but you sound kind of depressed. So you have two different types of.
So you're saying the tone is almost like a nonverbal
Yeah,
communication
nonverbal.
in that sense.
Yeah. So I'll put
Okay.
this here.
I can live with that.
I'm going to erase this now. Is this okay?
Like this? Just pop it up.
All right.
And stuff.
So, what we're going to do next
I'll give you
is,
snacks.
yeah. Okay, so we talked about nonverbal, like, it's a different kind of language, like we're saying something other than what we're actually saying. And we use it all the time. I'm using it right now with my hands. But we're going to be looking at facial expressions, I believe. Yeah, okay. So, this is a neutral, face, it's like no emotion. And we have 6 different emotions back here, or 6 different expressions. So, I want you guys to partner up, okay? And I want you to discuss, I'll put one of those up here.
Enough of nonverbal communication.
Which expression is which? I'll put, oh no, wait. So, yeah. Okay, so we have 6 expressions. We have happiness, surprise, fear, disgust, anger, and sadness, okay? So I want you to take those 6 expressions and put them in the right number, okay? So I'm going to give you a minute and a half, okay? Within the clock.
Yeah.
Okay, so ready, you go. So you need to time Brian, and then Millie.
What are the,
What are the 6
Well, I'll write them up here.
sets
I don't think the neutral's really neutral. You see it, it's around his eyes.
Yeah, his eyes.
His eyes is selling something.
It's like he knows a secret.
Oh, I created my own words.
Okay.
A few more seconds.
Just read out the window. Surprise will be 3. Yeah.
Yes.
Five. 6.
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, pens down. Yeah, it's okay if you didn't get all of them, but who feels confident that they got all 6 correct expressions? Raise your hand. Anyone? Okay, I like the confidence of John. So, let's reveal.
I'm talking to tone of voice instead.
Okay, so this, for number 1, we have happiness. Number 2, we have disgust. 3, this is surprise. 4, anger, eyes are squinting. His lips are closer up to height. Fear is number 5, and 6 is sadness, okay?
Besides 1, 3, and 6, I completely disagree. Completely.
With what?
With, I don't know, like a fear for play, but it's like, oh my goodness, it's more like disgusting. Oh my goodness, how is that? Number 2, that one I put like more like pensive, like, what's happening? And then that one is kind of like, I almost put like longing, like longing. It's like he's biting his lip, not because he's angry,
Okay.
or maybe he is because he's like holding back.
So
a
for this,
phrase.
so for this one you put angry?
No, for that one I put pensive.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I
You
put
see the
pensive.
face? This is the face of disgust with your answer.
Which looks
He's
more
he's
like, which one? Which looks more like number 5 in a way. Perhaps your mouth looks
Okay.
more closed.
Well, okay, back on track.
really, I think what I did was, because I had the same thing between 2 and 4,
Mhm.
I just kind of defaulted that 5 would be fear, but 2 and 4 was different. But if you actually try and have a look of disgust on your own face, when I tried that, my lip went up a little bit, so that's why I thought 2 would be disgust.
I think also, well, if we look at maybe how their eyes are squinted, like they both are squinted, but one's more like grimace, and while the other one's like more pointed.
I'll kill you.
Yeah, kind of a thing. You don't want to kill someone when you're angry, but I think it also depends on like, because there's different like levels of like fear or anger. Like someone that's really angry, they're gonna have other, you know, violent nonverbal actions, like maybe like doing this with a fist or stuff like that,
My face because of it.
or throwing something. Oh yeah, like that.
And that's not verbal. That's me.
Yeah. So good job, everyone. That's precise phrase. Not really, but that's what I did. Okay. So, all right. So now that we saw facial expressions, we're also gonna continue that a little bit, but focus more on body language. So we're gonna watch this clip. I don't know if this will play right here. Yeah. Oh look. Anyway, I gotta pause the part. Okay. It's that he does a nonverbal communication that's not appropriate. So, so as we watch this clip, I want you to focus like on his body language and like try to examine like what do you see? Like, is he, you know, is he being frustrated? Is he angry? Like, what do you see him saying through his body motion? Okay. So he's not talking at all verbally. He's talking non-verbally. Okay. So we'll discuss after this.
Can I get started? What size? Alright. 3 inches plus. Would you care for a pastry? Go. Oh. 3 mocha. Double chocolate chip muffin. Go. You're 3 Paul McCartney CDs. Puzzle. I love those things on my life. So, assassination. Gun. Shoot. Shot. All right. So, 3 lattes, 3 muffins, double chocolate chip muffin, 3 shots. Those destinations. Oh, and 3 Paul McCartney CDs. It's gonna be 68-12.
Okay. So, that's it. Okay, so tell me what did you see? What did you see in his body language, in his nonverbal communication? Okay, what did you see in Eddie Murphy's nonverbal communication?
He got increasingly more expressive,
Okay.
agitated. You can see it in his eyes
Okay.
as the conversation went on. When the communication, the message wasn't being properly relayed to the intended recipient.
Okay. What was okay, was there any like body language that you could see that you could like that he could have communicated? Like what was this?
No.
No. Yeah. That okay, police tend to do that even when we're saying no. Okay. So now that we kind of have a good understanding of verbal and non-verbal communication, okay. So what I had, okay, we'll just have enough time for one group of people. So I need one partner from each pair to be a volunteer. So whoever it is.
John.
Or are we doing 3 and 3 or 2 and 2?
One. Yeah, three people. You guys will be sitting down, but basically, so whoever my volunteer, who's volunteering from here? You guys are gonna sit down afterwards, but I need to know.
Oh,
Okay,
right.
so the volunteers, you guys are just carry out a conversation. Maybe Ty, Millie, and Sai can say like, oh, how's your day, or you know, how's the weather? But volunteers, you can't use any, like, you can't use your hands to talk, no facial expressions. Okay, you have to communicate like strictly verbally. You can't use any nonverbal communication. Okay, can you guys do that?
Hold on.
Okay?
Yep.
Just try to be stone faced the whole time.
Don't
Okay.
fix them.
So we'll just do this activity for 30 seconds. This is our closure. Now, okay, ready? Go. You sit down. Sit on your hands so you don't use your hands. So you say like, how's your day?
This is not my favorite.
Oh, Brian.
I love life.
How's your day?
What do you plan on doing after class? It's quite depressive, but that's okay.
You think you'll get them done today?
No. Yes, I want to graduate.
Do you have any particular study places you like to go?
I love every moment of it.
Just home?
Okay. And stop.
On my soul.
Okay, my volunteers, how did that feel communicating strictly verbally?
I didn't like it.
Okay.
They saw a different
Okay.
person.
What makes it impossible? Why did it feel impossible?
Because I can't control my facial expressions.
Okay.
You really can't.
I really can't.
See, I think with like nonverbal communication, like it helps, like it's something we've been doing like forever, and so it's like we're used to it, and it's just as important to communicate. Because if anything, body language is spoken more, like for instance, but it's spoken more than it is verbally.
More universal.
Yeah. So that is my lesson.